Verbs are words that show what someone or something is doing. Read, listen, think, jump, sit, and so on. We cannot build any sentence without a verb. Verb is a very important element of a sentence. Hi everybody, my name is Alisa, your English teacher, and in this lesson we are going to talk about 3 types of verbs: action verbs, linking verbs, and helping verbs. With that being said, let's get started. 3 types of verbs. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to say what a verb is, identify the 3 types of verbs, understand their functions in English sentences, give your own examples of action, helping, and linking verbs. So what are the verbs? The verbs are words that show what someone or something is doing. For example, a student talks to her friend every day. Let's find a verb in this sentence. What does a student do? Yes, that's correct. She talks to her friend. So talks is a verb. It shows what this student does. Let's read the next example. Everyone eats lunch. So what is a verb in this sentence? Yes, eats. So what do? They eat lunch, right? So everyone eats. Eats is a verb. Next sentence. The puppy is sleepy. In this sentence, the verb is. Is the verb in this sentence. The smell of pizza is making me hungry. The smell of pizza is making me hungry. So what is the verb in this sentence? We can see the verb making and also the verb is. So if you look at these sentences, you can see 3 types of verbs that I was talking about. You can find the action verb, also you can find linking verb, and you can find helping verb. For now, you may not know where the linking verb is, or where the action verb is, or where the helping verb is, but we will learn and we will get back to these sentences. So, there are 3 types of verbs: action verbs, linking verbs, and helping verbs. So let's talk first about the action verbs. An action verb is a word that shows action. An action verb tells what the subject of the sentence does. It's very important. An action verb tells what the subject of the sentence does. Let's look at this example. A student talks to her friend every day. So, in this sentence, a student is a subject. And now, after we found a subject, we need to find what does a student do. Because an action verb, we have just read with you, tells what the subject of the sentence does. So what does a student do? Yes, you're right, she talks. So talks is an action verb. This is her action, she talks. So talks is an action verb in this sentence. Let's read the next example. Everyone eats lunch. We just had this sentence. So what is the subject in this sentence? Yes, everyone is a subject. What does everyone do? Everyone eats. So eats is an action verb. Again, an action verb tells what the subject of the sentence does. We can see a subject, this is everyone, and what does everyone do? Eats. So eats is an action verb. Okay. So some action verbs show actions that happen mostly in the mind. For example, like, think, enjoy. So it happens in our mind. We cannot kind of, it's not like we move our hand or we do something that we can see it, right? It happens in our mind and it's not visible for other people. Let's look at the example. The family enjoys their lunch. We can see the same picture, but we don't know whether they enjoy this lunch or they don't enjoy. It's happening in their mind, right? It happens in their mind. The family enjoys. So the family is the subject. Enjoys is an action verb. Okay, so now it's time to talk about the linking verbs. And you can see this picture. It shows that the linking verb is connecting something. It links something in the sentence. Let's read what the linking verbs are. So linking verbs link the subject of a sentence to a describing word or to other information about the subject. Let's look at this example. Everything is very simple. So we have the sentence, the puppy is sleepy. So is the linking verb, and yeah, it's a linking verb, and it links the subject of a sentence, the puppy is the subject, to a describing word. So sleepy is a describing word. So the puppy is sleepy is a linking verb. It's between the subject and the describing word, and it links them together. And pay attention that sleepy is not a verb. It's a describing word. So we have only one verb in this sentence, is, and it's a linking verb. Okay, let's see one more example. We are excited. So the verb are links the subject we, this is the subject we, to the describing word excited. Notice that the describing word is not a verb. So one more time, the verb are is a linking verb because it links the subject we to the describing word excited. It's right in the middle. It links these two words, the subject and the describing word. Okay, so let's look at the examples of the linking verbs. So, am, is, are, was, were, will be, could be, can be, would be, have been. These are all examples of the linking verbs, and we can continue this list. So we have so many different linking verbs. Let's read the example. Many farmers were happy with the rain. So were is the linking verb that links farmers, which is the subject, and happy, which is the describing word. So it links these two parts of the sentence. Besides, verbs that have to do with the 5 senses are linking verbs. Feel, look, smell, sound, and taste. These are also linking verbs. For example, this sweater feels itchy. So feels in this sentence is a linking verb. The sculpture looks strange. So looks is a linking verb in this sentence. The dinner smells wonderful. Smells is a linking verb in this sentence. The doorbell sounds broken. Sounds is a linking verb in this sentence. And this soup tastes delicious. Tastes is a linking verb in this sentence. Let's talk about helping verbs. So helping verbs. These verbs are helping other verbs. There are 2 kinds. So let's read. Some verbs are made up of more than one word. They have a main verb plus one or more words that come before it. The words that come before the main verb are called helping verbs. Let's read this example. The smell of pizza is making me hungry. So, making is a main verb. So, this is a main verb. So, a main verb plus one more word that comes before it, right? So, is a verb that comes before it, and is a helping verb. In this case, it helps the main verb making to show that this is happening at the moment. So the smell of pizza is making me hungry. I can imagine that I have pizza right in front of me if I'm saying this sentence, and I'm smelling it, and it is making me hungry at the moment, not overall. If it would be overall, I would say it makes me hungry, like generally, whenever I smell pizza. But in this case, I'm smelling it right now at the moment. So this is what this helping verb is telling us about. That it tells us that the action is happening at the moment. And the smell of pizza is a subject in this sentence. Okay, helping verbs provide more information. In the example, the verb shows that the action is happening right now because of this helping verb is. These are the examples of helping verbs. Am, is, are, was, were. They're actually the same as the linking verbs. Has, have, do, does, can, could, would. Let's read the sentence. We have practiced piano every day this week. So, practiced is the main verb. Have is the helping verb. So, have helps the main verb practice. Practiced. And we get have practiced. It's very important that the helping verb is always in front of the main verb. It's not after it, it's just right in front of the main verb. Next sentence. They are listening to an interesting audio file. Listening is the main verb. So what is the helping verb? Yes, you're right, it's are. Are is a helping verb. Okay, so linking verbs versus helping verbs. Let's compare them. I have just told you that some of the verbs can be both linking and helping verbs. For example, the verb is or the verb are. And we can distinguish them only in the sentences. So let's look at these two examples. The first sentence is, we are excited. And the second sentence is, they are listening to an interesting audio file. So, we have are in the first sentence, and we have are in the second sentence. So we need to decide whether it's a linking verb or helping verb. Let's look at the first sentence. In the first sentence, are, what do you think? Is it a linking or a helping verb? It's a linking verb because, and in the second sentence, are is a helping verb. In the first sentence, it's a linking verb because it links, it kind of connects the subject, we, and the describing word excited. But in the second sentence, the helping verb are helps the main verb listening to show that the action is happening at the moment. They are listening to an interesting audio file. It means that they are listening to it now, at the moment. Okay, So, what we have learned today? Today we have learned 3 types of verbs: action verbs, linking verbs, and helping verbs. Action verbs. An action verb is a word that shows action. An action verb tells what the subject of the sentence does. For example, a student talks to her friend every day. In this sentence, talks is an action verb. It shows what a student does. Linking verbs. Linking verbs link the subject of a sentence to a describing word or to other information about the subject. For example, the puppy is sleepy. This picture makes me feel sleepy a little bit. So, in this sentence, what is the linking verb? Is, because it links the subject puppy and the describing word sleepy. Helping verbs. Some verbs are made up of more than one word. They have a main verb, plus one or more words that come before it. In our case, it's one word, and this is a helping verb. Is the helping verb. The words that come before the main verb are called helping verbs. So, we have helping verb is that helps the main verb making to show that it's happening at the moment. Okay, so now it's time to practice. What I want you to do, I want you to read the sentences and then find the verbs in these sentences and circle the action verbs with a red pencil, linking verbs with a blue pencil, and helping verbs with a green pencil. Okay, let's do the first sentence. She is making dinner for us now. She is making dinner for us now. Let's find the verbs in this sentence. Yes, you're right. Is, making are the verbs. So, is a helping verb. Good job. How about making? Yes, it's an action verb. Excellent. Next sentence. The energetic student dropped his pencil on the floor. So what is or what are, I don't know, the verbs in this sentence? Maybe there are 2 or 1 verb. Go ahead and find it. Yes, you're right. Dropped is an action verb. There is only 1 verb in this sentence, and it's dropped. The children were happy. Go ahead and find the verbs in this sentence. Good job. Were is a linking verb. It links the subject, the children, and the describing word happy. That's why it's a linking verb. And 1 more sentence. I have been running for over an hour. So go ahead and find the verbs. Yes, running. Running is an action verb. Have is a helping verb. And been is a helping verb. So in this sentence, we have 2 helping verbs in front of an action verb. Have been running. Good job. It's a good practice. So now I hope that you can say what a verb is. If you forgot, you can review it at the beginning of this video. Identify 3 types of verbs. Understand their functions in English sentences. I hope now you understand and you can find these verbs in English sentences. And give your own examples of action, helping, and linking verbs. So, now it's time to give your own examples of action, linking, and helping verbs. Go ahead, draw this table in your exercise book and write down 5 action verbs, 5 linking verbs, and 5 helping verbs. And also, to distinguish between the linking and the helping verbs, I recommend you to write down the sentences with these verbs. Thank you for learning about action, linking, and helping verbs with me. If you enjoyed this lesson, please remember to subscribe and like the video. See you soon. Take care.